I'll never slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because it's not about Missouri prisons and it's not about me. When I was a teenager, my uncle had this friend that did time in the Arkansas Department of Corrections, and he used to tell stories. I'm going to be honest with you, I find some of it hard to believe. So if there's anybody from Arkansas, maybe they could tell me if it's true or not. He told stories. First he said there was like 200 and something inmates in this prison, maybe 300. That is a small prison. But he said they had them working like as if they was on a plantation. They work out in the fields, and I know they used to do that down south, you know. So I know that part's true. But he said they would have, here's the part I have trouble believing, that they would have inmates guarding other inmates. You know what I mean? Like the inmates were guards. They weren't correctional officers. They just, and he said they rode around on horses and stuff. They got a lot of privileges and stuff. I just find that hard to believe. Maybe it's true, you know. There was one guy in there that got in trouble all the time, he said, that was in his barracks. I guess a barracks is kind of like a dorm. You know, they all slept in there together. He was always getting in trouble. And the guards would take him out to the box. I think he called it the box. Basically, it was the hole, but it was outside. The way he describes it's kind of like an outhouse. And I've seen those in those old prison movies from down south too, you know. So I know that part's true. I think they had one in Cool Hand Luke, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he said they had a Tucker phone. They called it the Tucker telephone. This is one of those old crank telephones. And supposedly they had wires, something hooked up to it, and they would either attach it to a person's toes or his midsection, you know, his private area, and crank it and shock them. That's just this is horrible if that actually happened. But he said he had never seen it used, but they showed it to him, you know, a couple of times. And he said he thinks that's all it was just to scare him. Now, this took place back in the, I think he said he was in there in the 60s, mid-60s. But he said he was in there with all kinds of people, you know, they just all grouped together. I did find out that maybe the prison was that small, because I did find out that back in the 60s, Arkansas only had like 1,000-some people in prison. You know, not quite 2,000. Now, it's got like 18,000 or something. I did find out that much. But if anybody knows if there's any truth to that, any of that, please let me know. And because I almost think this guy is telling stories, but you know, I don't want to say he's lying. About the thing with the inmates having guns is what got me, you know, riding around on horses with guns. And he said they was trigger happy. My uncle's friend did tell me that one time he got in trouble. This guard, not an inmate, but an actual person who worked there, told him to dig a hole. And so he digs this hole. And where he had him digging, he said that the ground was already loose, like they dug there before. And he had him put the dirt in a wheelbarrow. And he tells him, he says, push this wheelbarrow way over there and put that dirt in that hole. He said, so I dug the hole, filled the wheelbarrow, took it all the way over to this other hole, dumps it in the hole. Another CO, I guess you would call him that. I don't know what you would call him back then. Tells him, what are you doing with the dirt in my hole? Get that dirt out of my hole, take it back. Digs it up, and he takes it back, and the same thing happened back then, get that dirt out of my hole, and it goes back and forth, he says, until he said I was just tired, you know, just exhausted. Then they let me go, you know. But he said that was one of the punishment things, you know. And he goes, I would rather be doing that than being in that box they had out there, you know, or getting that phone on me. I'm going to have to Google and see if I can find that phone. But he said it was crazy, and somebody had told him, I guess, about prisons in Missouri. Somebody had gotten out and told him. He goes, prisons nowadays ain't prisons, you know, and I'm laughing because I say the same thing. Not quite like that, but you know, the caliber of people working in prisons now, you know, the COs and stuff, and the caliber of people coming in, it's different than the ones when I first went to prison, you know. They've changed, prisons have changed a lot, you know. So, I kind of know what he's saying. You know, when you think of the South, except for them old movies where you see them working on the plantations, you know, out in these fields and stuff, like they're slaves on a plantation, you think of them working alongside roads and stuff, you know. And they do in Missouri too, but it's always low-level ones on work release. You know, they're about to get out. But I'm talking about, you know, just rows of people just alongside the roads, or even better, chained together and digging or shoveling, something like that. That's what you think of when you think of the old South and chain gangs and stuff, you know. Not so much working out in the fields, even though I know they did. You know, you see documentaries and movies and stuff about it. Anyway, please let me know if there's any truth to what this guy said, so, you know, kind of rest my mind a little bit. And I thank you for watching. Bye.